We were in a very serious situation sometime last year. Everybody knows where we were. There was a possibility of Kenya degenerating into a failed state. People who do not understand history talk very easily. But ask them, tell them, what happened in Libya? What happened in Egypt after the Arab Spring? What happened? Where was the Tahrir Square crowd not able to move in and take the government and form a government? Where do you have a military regime in Egypt today after the Arab Spring? Even Tunisia. People do not really understand. That's why they make it very simple. And it's very easy for them to write articles in newspapers. I read them and I just laugh. They tried to trivialize what was a very serious situation. So what we have today is basically something that we were forced into because of the circumstances that were existing at that time. I want to invite somebody to tell me their own solution, how this would have been solved. We sacrificed so that there could be peace in this country. And that's the reason why we are here today. I do not regret what we did. We did it in the best interest of our country. And Kenya must move forward. We want to ensure that we bring Vision 2030 back on the table. We also revive the NESC, National Economic and Social Council, so that all those flagship projects that we coined during that time can be revived and make sure that they're all moving together, going in the right direction. This will help us as a country. So I'm saying this as just a Kenyan patriot who is thinking about Kenya. Kenya number 1, Kenya number 2, Kenya number 3. This is where we are. We have come here today to mourn a great Kenyan lady, a matriarch in all sense of the word. Phoebe's life is an exemplification of humanism. She ranks among some of the greatest women in the world. So we have come today to celebrate her life, not to mourn. Because at 92, Phoebe has seen it all. She rose from childhood at the time when there's a lot of discrimination against women, and managed against all the odds at that time to secure education up to a high level and becoming a teacher. One of those she taught there in central Kenya was a member of parliament with us, Matere Keriri. Matere Keriri used to tell us how Phoebe used to teach them how to dress properly in those years. She then became the first African woman to become a leader of maendeleo ya wanawake against white women. And when independence came, she was working with the prison department. Jaramogi, as Minister for Home Affairs, was in charge of prisons, made her a superintendent of prisons, became a senior superintendent of prisons. And in that capacity, she helped to develop the Langata Women Prison to create conditions of humanity in the prisons there. And then she worked with children after that. She worked with children and promoted the development of children, orphans, children which were disabled, and so on. That is another contribution that Phoebe made. And then she became a politician. And as you have been told, if you go into the Hansard, you will see the Phoebe's contribution in Parliament. Issues of human rights must be respected. We must ensure that people live well. We must ensure that our people have food, that our people have shelter, that our people have work, that our people, when they are sick, they can be treated, that our children will go to school. This is very, very important to us. This is very important indeed. And that the cost of living need to be brought down. And that it must be rule of law. That the security forces are there to protect the people. The police are servants of the people, not masters. The police need to be civil to the population. If you have committed an offense, arrest me. Take me to prison, take me to court, and let the court find me guilty and imprison me. But do not use your own weapon to assassinate me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot to kill. Don't shoot to kill. Don't shoot to maim. Arrest and charge in a court of law. That's what is called rule of law. And we have sat together and reviewed the MOU that we signed last year, this year. And we have now put together a framework to ensure that the MOU is implemented to the letter. This is going to happen. Those who have been maimed, those who have been injured, those who have been in hospital, and those who have died, the families of those who have died will be compensated. And we said we go back to just not 2024, 2023, 22, we go back to 2017. From 2017 up to today, all those people who have been maimed, who have been killed and so on, the families are going to be compensated. And we have got to put in place a framework for that to happen. Secondly, we have also a structure of how to ensure that the MOU itself is implemented to the full. And that's why next week we are going to have a joint parliamentary group meeting to ensure that our members of parliament implement what we need, put up structures in place so that we can be able to implement what we've agreed on.
We gather here then today with our hearts heavy to eulogize our beloved patron, Honorable Dr. Mama Phoebe Asiyo, a distinguished stateswoman, a trailblazer, a matriarch, a mother, a wife, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, an excellent neighbor, and an unwavering champion for the rights and dignity of women in this country, Kenya. Mama Phoebe was many things to many people. She has been celebrated across the nation on all our social media platforms. Today we pause to remember her as a pioneer of the women's journey, a fearless voice that spoke when other voices remained silent. A towering figure whose leadership helped shape the cause of women, and we are proud to say today she leaves a woman governor and 5 members of parliament from this county. She has done it. She has not talked. She has proved it. We will particularly miss her constant counsel, her affirming words, and the many moments of quiet encouragement we regularly shared. Mama believed deeply in women's leadership. Her life was a testimony to that belief. She sacrificed, she persisted, and she dared to dream of a time when women would sit at the decision-making table, not as guests, but as equals. Homa Bay has done it for us. One of our most defining moments was leading women to Kapenguria to meet the founding father in 1960. This was no ordinary visit. It was an act of bold negotiation at a time when women's voices were barely acknowledged. Because of her courage, the seeds of affirmative action were started. Our star has gone before us, but it has not vanished. It lights the path for the rest of us. Let us be inspired by her life and challenged by her message. In her memoir, It Is Possible, which you did attend, Your Excellency, when it was launched in State House, she reminded us that change is within our grasp. Integrity was at the heart of her leadership. And I posed the question she asked me, Kenyan women, can we talk of integrity proudly? We need to emulate Mama Phoebe. In her memoir, let this be a moment of deep reflection. What kind of women are we? What do people say about us? Are we creating positive change in our lives? And was her struggle worth it? And most importantly, are we setting an example for the future women? May the good Lord walk with her as she goes to rest.
In 1979, when I left being a councillor in Kisumu, Phoebe Asio braved it, and Jaramogi supported her. And Jaramogi specifically sent us here, together with my brother Raila, to come and campaign for Phoebe. We campaigned for Phoebe Asio in Karachuonyo surround, because Phoebe was fighting against a giant who was supported by the whole system of government. Can you imagine a woman, those days, a woman just daka. That is contesting against a giant supported by all the government machinery. Okikamayo. Okikamayo was not a joke. He was later on the chairman of KANU, the most powerful chairman I have ever seen. If Okiki wanted to expel you from the party, you are expelled as a member of parliament. In the morning, within 1 week, you have been replaced by somebody else. So Phoebe fought against Okiki. Okiki went to court. Okiti went to court to contest, and Phoebe was dismissed. We came here a second time now to campaign for Phoebe. We came, and Nyagoro was such a mobilizer. She was such a great mobilizer. She mobilized groups. And I tell you, Karachuonyo was vibrating with Phoebe. I remember when we won the election, when we went to Homa Bay to count where the kuras were being counted. I tell you, when we came from there, all of us just burst into a song, coming down here to Kanyaluo. We burst into a song, Beunge gimoti more kindu Karachuonyo, Beunge gimoti more kindu Karachuonyo. Phoebe Asio emonyago kiki. Emonyago kiki koronya dereo. Phoebe Asio emonyago kiki. Emonyago kiki koronya dereo. And Nyagoro was a narrator. She was a narrator of an equaled, there was unmatched orator. And when I joined Parliament in 1994, I found her fighting for women's rights in Parliament. And it was difficult, because the first bill she brought there, people were saying, these women's rights, they went to Beijing, this Beijing women, what will they achieve? They will achieve nothing. But Nyagoro persisted, and they fought, and now the women are where they are up there. They have not achieved the 30%, but I'm sure they will soon achieve that 30%.
Your Excellency, we are fortunate that God has put us in leadership at the same time. What then is a mission of our generation? The mission of our generation must be to expel negativity, be it negative ethnicity or negative patriotism. Your Excellency, we are very proud that we extinguished that theory of shareholding in government, and now we have a broad-based government where every Kenyan feels at home. We must also deal with negativity where senior leaders from this republic go to foreign lands and badmouth their country. Your Excellency, in my culture, you do not talk ill about your parent in the neighbor's house. If your father is naked, you do not proclaim his nakedness, you cover him. And so I want to rebuke and condemn those who go to foreign lands and think they can get cheap bonga points by talking ill about their country. Your Excellency, our mission must be to fix education. And there has been this debate whether all children can get free education. I believe it is possible. Let us have the courage to put together all the different funds that exist. Your Excellency, this was a dream of the founding fathers of our nation. It cannot be that 50, 60 years we are struggling with this. We have enough resources in this country to ensure that every child can get education. Our mission must be to ensure health for all. Your Excellency, I listened to you yesterday as you addressed the governors, and you gave very clear directions that no Kenyan should be paying fees in level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 hospitals. We in the Senate, and I think no MP should ever stand in front of the public and talk about SHA in a negative manner, because we are the ones who passed the laws. Our job and our role as leaders is to ensure we push the executive to make SHA a success. That is the mission of our generation. Finally, the mission of our generation, Your Excellency, must also be to ensure that corruption does not collapse and kill our beloved country. Mama Phoebe is lying there. She's not going to heaven with a title deed. She's not going to heaven with her bank account. She's going to heaven with her soul. Let that be the lesson for all of us who are in leadership.